Look, I'll be honest. I died because I was texting while crossing the street. Not my proudest moment. If I ever get a third chance at life, I'm keeping my eyes up. But here I am, 16 years into my new life in a fantasy world, standing in a fancy church waiting for my turn at the big talent awakening ceremony. Every kid gets one at 16. Some cosmic power decides what your talent is and what job you're best at. Ranks go from S down to E, and most people land somewhere around D or E, which is basically the universe saying, good luck being average. My body won't stop shaking, and the girl behind me, Julia, my one and only friend in this entire world, thinks I'm nervous. She pats my back all gentle and says, "Don't worry, your parents are barons. You'll get something good, sweet girl." Completely wrong, though. I'm not shaking from fear. I'm shaking from pure excitement. Because once you awaken, noble kids get shipped off to the Royal Academy. And that means I finally escaped my absolute trash fire of a family. 16 years of suffering in that house. And today is my ticket out. Next, Clan Gassa. I practically sprint up to the bishop. This guy looks at me with zero expression. Fair enough. I look like a skeleton someone dressed in bargain bin noble clothes. A strong breeze could probably snap me in half. I close my eyes, relax, feel some warm energy flowing into me, and then, C-rank talent. Attribute point allocation. Best profession, knight. C-rank. Not bad, not great. The talent explanation goes like this. Every year, I get one random stat point added to a random attribute. If I'm lucky and it hits my main stats, this talent could rival B rank, maybe even touch A rank. If I'm unlucky, it's basically an E rank talent wearing a C rank disguise. And historically, most people with this talent, unlucky. Cool. But then, right after the ceremony ends, a blue holographic screen pops up in front of my face. An attribute panel, like a full RPG status screen, complete with a cold system voice in my head going, "Congratulations, host. Today you received Strength 1, I almost choke. My stats are all over the place. Strength 5, Agility 5, Constitution 4, Spirit 8. But the real gold mine is the elemental affinity section. Wind, a pathetic one, which explains why my family's wind sword technique has been going nowhere for me. But thunder? A solid 6. Water? A 4. I've been training the completely wrong element this entire time. Oh, and my charm stat is 64. Out of what? I have no idea, but I'm choosing to believe that's impressive. And there's more: sword talent, 9, magic talent, 4. So basically, I've been handed a cheat sheet to my own body that nobody else gets to see. The attribute point thing was already one talent, but this status panel is basically a secret second talent for free. Suddenly C rank is looking a whole lot better. I wait outside the church for Julia to finish her test. After that, it's straight to the Royal Academy. New life, new stats, new me. The Skeleton Baron's kid is about to make some serious moves. Go back to that house. Yeah, no, absolutely not. Not happening. See, here's the thing about my lovely family situation. I was born into a baron's household, which sounds fancy until you learn that my dad has about 20-something kids from multiple wives and concubines. My mom was one of the concubines. In the beginning, life was actually okay. I got to eat, learn the family sword technique, and live better than the average commoner. Not great, but not terrible. Then that woman showed up. She married my father, and the first thing she did was get my mother killed. After that, she went to dear old dad with her pretty face and sweet voice and said, "Oh, let me take care of all the children for you." And my father, who apparently has the parenting instincts of a rock, said, "Sure, sounds great," and handed over everything. Her system was simple. Kids with good talent who kissed up to her, they got treated fine, brainwashed into loyal little minions. Kids with bad talent who didn't obey, punishment, hard labor, beatings. And guess who she picked as the shining example of? This is what happens when you disobey. The kid with no mother, no backing, and no one who cared me. I tried fighting back, multiple times, but every single time, the other kids would gang up and back her story. Eventually, in my father's eyes, I became the lying, scheming, talentless troublemaker. The man has 20 kids. I'm basically a rounding error to him. But that woman? She's pretty and charming, so she gets a free pass to do whatever she wants. Since I was 6 years old, I've been doing back-breaking chores, getting beaten, barely eating, and swallowing every ounce of humiliation in silence. At some point I realized, my father isn't oblivious. He just doesn't care. I'm disposable. She's entertaining. So I learned to endure. I stopped resisting, stopped reacting, made her think she'd completely broken me. But inside I was just waiting, surviving, planning. If it wasn't for Julia sneaking me food and being my friend, I'd literally be dead by now. She's the only reason I made it to 16. She's even the reason I was allowed to come to this awakening ceremony at all. Clan. I'm done. Julia comes running over, practically bouncing. I got a B-rank talent. Ice crystal bloodline. Even the bishop praised me, B-rank. That's incredible. I try to smile for her. I really do. But after 10 years of being treated like garbage, my face has kind of forgotten how smiling works. What comes out is, well, let's call it an attempt. Let's go home and tell everyone, she says. I shake my head. You go? I'm heading straight to the Royal Academy through the church. Her face drops. The Royal Academy? Clan, that place is basically hell for weak people. She's not wrong. From what I've heard, the Royal Academy is where the strong live like kings and the weak get absolutely crushed. Class warfare at its finest. But here's the thing Julia doesn't fully understand. My current life is already hell. At least the Academy has a chance of something better. This is something I planned a long time ago. I can't go back to that house. But if I make it through the Academy, I'll come find you. I turn around and walk away without looking back. Not because I don't care. Because if I look at her face right now, I might hesitate. And hesitation is something I can't afford anymore. Behind me, I know Julia is standing there, probably tearing up a little, praying I don't die. Honestly, fair concern. Soon after, about a dozen other teenagers gather in the same area, all hoping to join the church as a fast track in a high society. The logic is simple. Have decent talent, look enthusiastic, and they'll probably let you in. Whether you survive after that is a problem for future you. Then the same stone-faced bishop from the ceremony walks back out. He looks at all of us and tries to smile. I say, tries, because what his face actually produces is the kind of expression you'd see on a serial killer in a painting. Warm is not the word. Terrifying is closer. The bishop looks at all of us with that creepy smile and splits the group. Left side, Royal Academy. Right side, church recruitment trials. Most kids go right without hesitation. Only 4 of us go left, including me. The bishop's smile gets even wider when he counts 4 academy volunteers. And I know exactly why. More kids going to the academy means a bigger bonus for him. He doesn't care that most of us will probably die there. We're basically trading our lives for his career advancement. But sure, the church is proud of you, right? Thanks, buddy. Here's the deal with the Royal Academy that most people don't advertise. It's basically a miniature war zone. Different nations and factions, including the church, each have their own teams inside the academy. They fight over resources, and the better your faction performs, the more rewards your backers get. So when kids volunteer to go, the higher-ups are thrilled. Free cannon fodder that walked in on its own. The bishop knows full well that we're all here because our lives are awful enough that a war zone sounds like an upgrade. But does he care? Of course not. Climbing the ladder requires stepping on people, and we just laid down under his feet voluntarily. You'll stay at the church tonight. Tomorrow morning, you leave. Per regulations, each of you gets an identity token and 1 weapon. Follow me to choose. I look at the other 3 going with me. 2 boys and 1 girl. Their clothes are patched up. They're all skinny as sticks, basically mirror images of me. No way these kids are here because life was going great for them. Meanwhile, the kids heading for the church trials? Clean clothes, healthy weight, clearly from families that actually fed them. Funny how that works. We follow the bishop to a weapons storeroom. The selection is, let's say, humble. Everything in here is bottom-tier basic equipment. The kind of weapons that make you wonder if they were forged or just vaguely threatened into shape. I go straight for the swords. They're all rough and crude, but after comparing for a while, I settle on a one-handed sword that looks slightly less terrible than the others. The girl picks a dagger, actually the nicest-looking weapon in the whole room. Smart eye, questionable combat choice. In a head-on fight, a dagger against a longer weapon is a losing bet. But maybe it fits her class. Both boys grab spears. Good instinct. When you have 0 combat training, reach is your best friend. The bishop drops us off at a room with 10 small beds crammed together. The smell is an experience. And there are already a dozen other people in here. Honestly, though, better than expected. I was fully prepared to sleep in a woodshed tonight. I know I need to start building connections. I hate talking to people. 10 years of abuse will do that to you. But being a loner at a place like the Royal Academy is basically a death sentence. So I force myself. Let's get to know each other. I'm Clan Gassa. My class is Knight. All three of them freeze and stare at me. It takes me a second to realize why. I have a surname. In this world, only nobles have surnames. So now they're trying to figure out why someone with a noble family name looks like a starving street kid and is voluntarily walking into a death academy. I'm not about to explain my tragic backstory to people I met 5 minutes ago, so I just leave it. The taller boy goes next. I'm Arlen. 13 siblings. Family couldn't feed us all. So here I am. Nobody bats an eye. That's just how it is in this world. Poor families have tons of kids, hoping one of them hits the talent lottery and lifts everyone out of poverty. The shorter boy. I'm Mohsen. 10 siblings. Same reason as Arlen. Then we all look at the girl. I'm Lena. I joined the church because I'd rather risk death at the academy than be married off as a concubine to some old man 50 years older than me. And there it is. For teenagers, for completely miserable reasons to be here. Nobody's chasing glory. We're all just running away from something worse. After introductions, I notice the other people in the room sneaking glances at us, sizing us up. But nobody starts trouble. This is holy ground. The church, and getting kicked out would be a death sentence for their futures. So everyone behaves. For now, everyone in the room is quiet and well-behaved. Good. I briefly consider trying to rally all these kids into some kind of group, but honestly, too many people means too much drama, and I'm not exactly a social butterfly after a decade of abuse. So I keep it small, just me and the other three, curled up in a corner for the night. Then, right at midnight, I hear it again. Congratulations, host. Today you received Strength 1. My eyes snap open. I check my panel. Strength went from 6 to 7. It's real. But wait. Hold on. The talent description said 1 attribute point per year. I just got 1 yesterday at the awakening ceremony. And now another 1 today? I replay the system message in my head. Today you received. Today? Not this year. Today. My heart nearly stops. Is it possible that while everyone else with this talent gets 1 point per year, I get 1 point per day? I swallow hard. If that's true, if that's really actually true, then all I need to do is keep my head down and survive. Every single day, I get stronger. It's just a matter of time. I can feel the difference already. My arms have more power in them. I want to punch something just to test it. But I look around at the sleeping room full of kids and calm myself down. Not yet. Not the time. The next morning, the church gives us breakfast, 2 black bread rolls that taste like someone mixed flour with sawdust, plus surprisingly, a cup of milk. I eat 1 bread and pocket the other for emergencies. I notice the other 3 do the same thing. Survival instincts, we've all got them. Then we march outside and I realize our little group of 20 was just 1 room. There are hundreds of kids. They need 8 cargo wagons to fit everyone. Not passenger carriages, open-top cargo wagons. The kind you transport livestock in. I climb onto one and immediately feel like a crate of potatoes being shipped to market. These wagons have no roof, no suspension, and every bump in the road goes straight through my bones. And there are so many bumps. But here's my secret silver lining. The longer this trip takes, the more stat points I collect. So while everyone else is dreading this journey, I'm silently hoping it lasts forever. I look around at the other kids. Most of them have this lost, confused look on their faces. They all grew up hearing the Royal Academy's propaganda, a place where dreams come true, where anyone can change their destiny. What a joke. The truth is, out of every 10,000 poor kids who go in, maybe 1 or 2 actually make something of themselves. And those 1 or 2 usually come out as completely different people. Cold, ruthless, nothing left of who they used to be. Meanwhile, noble kids go to the academy with faction protection, financial backing, and connections. For them, it's basically a fancy internship. I know this because I overheard it back home. My family's eldest son was being sent to the academy to build his resume, and my oh-so-caring father spent a fortune making sure he'd be safe. The same father who couldn't be bothered to check if I was eating. My face goes cold just thinking about it. The journey is brutal. The sun hammers us from above with nothing to block it. I end up tearing off part of my shirt to wrap around my head so my skin doesn't burn off. At midday, we finally stop to rest. Luckily, there's a water mage in the escort team, so at least we won't die of thirst. The church needs us alive. We're valuable resources. Dead kids can't fight in their little academy faction wars. Some clever kids use the break to weave leaves into makeshift sun hats. Most of the results look terrible, but ugly shade beats beautiful sunburn. By the end of the first day, my body feels like it's been taken apart and reassembled wrong. For someone with a constitution of 4, riding an open cart all day in scorching heat is basically torture. Dinner is a piece of jerky and another black bread. Both are almost impossible to chew, but I wash them down with water and get every last crumb into my stomach. Can't afford to waste food. Then midnight hits again. Congratulations, host. Today you received Constitution 1. The moment that point hits, I feel the soreness in my body fade a little. My head clears up. It's like someone turned down the pain dial by 10%. Now I understand something important. If I want to survive this trip, what I really need is more Constitution. But looking at my ridiculously long attribute panel with all those random categories, the point is assigned randomly each day. I can't exactly put in a request form. I just have to hope the universe keeps being kind, which, given my life so far, is not exactly a safe bet. Over the next 3 days, I pick up 1 point each in agility, spirit, and constitution. My body is actually starting to feel decent. Like, for the first time in 16 years, I don't feel like I'm on the verge of collapsing. Everyone else, though, they look rough. Yellow faces, puffy eyes, wobbling around like zombies. These kids weren't in great shape to begin with, and days of riding an open cart in the blazing sun has absolutely destroyed them. If it wasn't for the regular food and water, I'm pretty sure we would have had casualties on day 1. Nobody's talking. Nobody has the energy to talk. We're all just surviving. The escort captain takes one look at the group and decides to stop at noon for a half-day rest. He's experienced enough to know that dead cargo earns him nothing. Every kid who arrives alive at the academy is more reward money in his pocket. So he's not being kind, he's being practical. During the break, the 4 of us sit together and Lena asks, "Do you guys think the Royal Academy is really as scary as everyone says?" Arlen shrugs. "I mean, worst case we get beaten up a lot, but they probably won't starve us. That's already better than home." Mosin nods eagerly. "Exactly. These past few days have been rough, but we've been eating every single day. That's an upgrade for me." I look at these 3 and just nod. They're so simple. Their bar for happiness is food exists. I can't even be sad about it because honestly, same. By the way, I say, we've known each other for a while now, but never shared talents. Mine's C-Rank, attribute point allocation. All 3 of them look surprised. Not because my talent sounds impressive, but because they're all D-Rank. I also notice Arlen and Mosin subtly scoot away from me. Oh, right. The surname thing. They know I'm nobility. Even though I look like a starving alley cat, the class barrier is still there in their heads. Arlen goes first. D-Rank, strength enhancement. I'm stronger than most people. Mosin, D-Rank, precision. My accuracy is higher than normal. Then everyone looks at Lena. She hesitates for a bit, clearly uncomfortable sharing. D-Rank, stealth. I can slightly hide my presence. I blink. Stealth? That's only D-Rank. For an assassin-type class, that's practically a must-have ability. The ranking system in this world seriously needs a patch update. Some talents are wildly underrated. Arlen and Mosin just stare blankly. They clearly have no idea why stealth would be useful. To be fair, when you grew up too poor to eat, I can hide. Sounds way less helpful than, I'm really strong. And honestly, if my talent really was the standard version, 1 point per year, I'd agree that their talents are more practical than mine. A year-long development cycle with random allocation? That's terrible. You'd need decades to see results. And if luck screws you over, you'd spend years adding points to stuff like wood affinity, while your enemies are out there punching through walls. But they don't know my version is daily. They all look at me with this expression like, poor noble kid, stuck with a mediocre talent. Arlen especially seems relieved, like, oh good, the aristocrat isn't actually special. I let them think that. No corrections necessary. 3 more days pass. I get another constitution point, another strength point, and then on day 3. Luck 1. My luck stat climbs to 4. I have no idea if that's high or low, but I know luck is basically the destiny stat. the cultivation novel equivalent of heavenly fortune. I start daydreaming about a future where my luck hits 100 and I just trip over legendary swords on my morning walk. But that's future me's problem. Present me needs to keep his head down. Speaking of which, it's been almost a week of travel now. How far is this academy? I'm not complaining, since every extra day is another stat point, but I'd like to know roughly when to expect arrival so I can mentally prepare. What I don't notice is that the escort captain has been watching me. Apparently, I've caught his attention. On day 1, I look just as wrecked as everyone else. By day 2, I bounce back. By day 6, while everyone else is barely holding it together, I'm looking healthier than when we started. He's checked my file. He knows my stats. And none of it explains why I'm getting better while everyone else gets worse. Oops. Maybe I should have done a better job pretending to be miserable. Another week gone by. 7 more stat points in the bag. 2 strength, 2 agility, 1 constitution, 2 spirit. Pretty balanced spread, honestly. I would have liked more constitution, but at 8 points it's already enough. I don't feel like death anymore. Actually, I feel good. Like someone lifted a boulder off my shoulders. My body is lighter, my head is clearer, and while everyone around me looks like they're auditioning for a zombie movie, I'm practically glowing. I also noticed a pattern. Most of the daily points land on the 4 main stats: strength, agility, constitution, spirit. The weird stuff like luck has only shown up once so far. That works perfectly fine for me. Time for a status check. Strength, 10. Agility, 8. Constitution, 8. Spirit, 11. But the real discovery? My stats are linked. When my constitution went up, my lifespan climbed from 62 to 69. When my body filled out a little and my complexion improved, my charm crept up from 64 to 66, without me spending a single point on it. The attributes feed into each other. So even beyond the daily point, my stats are growing organically just from getting healthier. This system is even better than I thought. Now, about my 3 travel companions. Even those 3, who are not exactly the sharpest tools in the shed, have finally noticed something weird. We all eat the same food. We all ride the same terrible wagon. They look like they're about to die. I look like I just came back from vacation. And the thing is, they remember that when we first met, I was just as skinny and pathetic as them. The person most desperate for answers is Lena. She's a girl with naturally less physical stamina than the boys, and she's genuinely worried she might die before we even arrive. So she works up the courage to approach me. "Clan, can I talk to you about something?" In private, before I can answer, Arlen cuts in with this passive-aggressive tone. "Yeah. What can't you say in front of us? Are we not friends or something?" And I can see the calculation happening in Lena's eyes. If she pulls me aside for a private chat, these two will start spreading rumors that she's the noble's dog the moment they reach the academy. She knows exactly how petty poor people can be to each other, because she is one. I see what's happening, but don't call it out. This world has zero basic education. Most of these kids are going to grow up into the medieval equivalent of internet trolls. Can't expect civilized behavior when civilization never taught them anything. So Lena just asks her question right there in front of everyone. "How come you look totally fine after all these days?" I feel like I'm dying. Arlen and Mosin perk up immediately. Yeah, they want to know too. They're staring at me like I'm hiding some secret health potion. Good thing I prepared for this question days ago. "Nothing special," I say with a shrug. My attribute point last time landed on adaptive force. It lets me adjust to different environments faster. It's just luck. You can't copy it. Clean, simple, uncheckable, and technically not wrong. I am adapting faster, just not for the reason I said. The escort captain overhears this from nearby and just nods to himself. He's apparently heard that attribute point allocation can produce all kinds of random bonuses, so adaptive force doesn't raise any red flags. He even thinks to himself that I might have slightly better survival odds at the academy now. Oh, and fun fact I picked up from eavesdropping. The deadliest period at the Royal Academy is the first month. If you survive month 1, you start adapting. Most people don't make it that far. Great. Really motivating stuff. Back with my group, all 3 of them look completely deflated after hearing my answer. Their one hope that I had some trick they could learn just evaporated. And Arlen is now looking at me with straight-up resentment. I can practically read the thought bubble over his head. Why does this guy get a noble name and a good talent and lucky stat rolls? How is that fair? Buddy, If you saw my childhood, you would not be calling me lucky. But sure, hate away. I've been hated by professionals. An amateur like you doesn't even register. I catch Arlen glaring daggers at my back. The only reason I notice is because my spirit stat is at 12 now. I can literally feel hostile stares. I turn around and we lock eyes. He's got this venomous look like he's imagining shoving me off the cart. He quickly turns away and pretends nothing happened. Sure, buddy. Real subtle. I'm not going to start something with the escort captain watching. I'll deal with this later. 10 more days pass. 10 more stat points. 3 strength. For constitution, 2 agility, 1 spirit. My 4 main stats are now sitting at strength 13, agility 10, constitution 12, spirit 12. Still nothing but main stats. I'm starting to wonder if the odds of getting anything else are even 1%. Not that I'm complaining. Pure stat growth means I'll eventually just bulldoze everyone through raw numbers alone. And physically, the changes are getting obvious. I'm not a skeleton anymore. I'm still on the thin side, but I actually look like a normal human being now. I've grown taller too. My pants went from full length to ankle length because my legs outgrew them. Arlen used to be half a head taller than me. Now we're the same height. Everyone else has somewhat adjusted to the road by now. They don't look like they're dying anymore, just empty. Dead eyes, zero hope, endlessly staring into the distance. Classic road trip vibes. Then one night, the silence breaks. A long, echoing wolf howl. Every single kid in the convoy snaps awake, eyes wide with terror. The escort captain jumps to his feet immediately. This road is supposed to be regularly patrolled and cleared of magical beasts. Running into monsters here shouldn't happen. But shouldn't and doesn't are very different words. Everyone to the center. Armed personnel form a perimeter. Move, pure chaos. Hundreds of terrified teenagers scrambling in the dark. I sprint toward the middle, but in all the stampeding, I see Lena still on the ground. Someone stepped right on her stomach before she could get up. She's curled over in pain, about to get trampled. I grab her arm and yank her to her feet. Go, she runs. I turn to follow, and then something slams into my back. Hard. Someone trying to push me down. I spin around. It's Arlen. This absolute idiot. Wolves are attacking, people are dying, and his priority is trying to knock me into the dirt? During a monster attack, pushing someone down is basically murder. My strength is 13 now. His talent is strength enhancement, sure, but I don't even budge. The surprise on his face is almost worth the situation. He clearly expected me to go flying. I don't give him time to think about it. I kick him square in the chest. He flies backward, hits the ground, and lands right in the path of the incoming wolves. I don't hesitate. I turn and sprint for the protection circle. Behind me, I hear a wolf reach Arlen before he can stand up. Jaws clamp down on his shoulder. Ah-h-h-h-h-h. The scream is horrible. But he's not the only one. Other stragglers who didn't reach the circle in time are getting attacked too. Arlen could have made it safely. He had plenty of time. But he wasted it trying to kill me, and now he's paying for it. I make it inside the perimeter. Safe. For now. I take a breath and actually look at what we're dealing with. 40 to 50 magic wolves, each one over 2 meters long, practically tiger-sized. A pack this big on a supposedly patrolled road makes zero sense. But here we are. 20 guards form a thin circle around hundreds of kids. It looks about as sturdy as a paper wall around a candy store. I'm already planning escape routes in case the line breaks. But the wolves don't charge immediately. They circle us, running around the perimeter, looking for weak spots. These aren't mindless beasts. They have tactics. They have discipline. They have a leader. The Wolf King sits back, watching with these cold, calculating eyes. The escort captain, level 39, sizes it up. The alpha is maybe level 35 or 36. Close enough to be dangerous, and it has 50 friends backing it up. Then, without warning, several wolves charge from different directions simultaneously. The guards hold, barely. Their equipment is good, and they're better fighters than I expected. The first wave gets repelled, but the Wolf King isn't done observing. It's watching, analyzing, and I can almost see the moment it figures something out. The humans on the outside are protecting the ones in the middle, which means the smart play is to get through to the middle. I swallow hard. This is going to be a long night. The Wolf King howls again, and this time it's not a warning. It's an order. Every wolf goes berserk and charges the line all at once. The escort captain screams at the top of his lungs. The wolves are coming through. Spread out. Use your weapons. Fight back. His voice booms like a war drum. Everyone hears it. Nobody listens. Most of these kids are frozen solid, packed together in the center like sardines, too terrified to move a single muscle. Which is the worst possible thing to do, because now we're one big clump of easy targets with zero room to swing a weapon. I'm stuck somewhere in the middle, which means I'm not the first course on the wolf buffet. Small comfort, but I'll take it. I know these wolves won't eat on the spot. They kill everything first, drag the meat home, then eat. So, wait for them to get full and leave is not a strategy. The first casualty on both sides happens almost simultaneously. A guard drives his blade straight up through a wolf's jaw into its brain. Incredible kill. Then, while he's trying to pull his weapon out, another wolf tackles him and bites clean through his neck. The scene instantly turns into a horror movie. Blood everywhere. Kids screaming, crying, some of them losing control of their bladders. The air becomes this unholy cocktail of blood, urine, sweat, and fear. Then a wolf breaks through the perimeter and charges straight into the crowd. And these kids, who were just told to fight back, stand there and do absolutely nothing. The wolf starts tearing through them like it's an all-you-can-eat buffet with no line. I watch this for about 3 seconds. Then I move. My body is different now. Strength 13, agility 10. I close the distance, aim for the wolf's eye, the one spot where even a cheap sword can do real damage, and drive my blade straight through its skull. The wolf freezes mid-stride. Then it drops like a puppet with cut strings. I pull my bloody sword out of its eye socket and look down at it. I wait for the nausea, the horror, the, oh God, I just killed something, reaction. Nothing. I feel absolutely nothing. Just calm. Maybe 16 years of suffering burned out whatever part of my brain was supposed to care about that. More importantly, these wolves aren't invincible. They're flesh and blood. A sword through the eye kills them just fine. I turn to the crowd. These kids have talents. Weird, random talents, sure, but some of them might actually be useful right now. They just need someone to snap them out of their panic. These wolves aren't that strong. We can kill them if we fight back. Pick up your weapons. Something about having just shoved a sword through a wolf's brain makes people take you seriously. I can see the shift. Some of the boys' eyes go from terrified to fired up. The survival instinct is kicking in. Your talents could help everyone here. Step up now and you're a hero. That does it. Kids start activating their abilities. And then, the biggest lucky break of the night happens. One kid starts glowing. Full body, blinding white light. The entire dark battlefield lights up like daytime. This is huge. The wolves' biggest advantage was the dark. The guards were fighting half-blind while the wolves could see perfectly. But now it's an even playing field. The well-equipped, well-trained guards start cutting loose. One guard taking on 2 or 3 wolves at once and winning. 7 or 8 wolves go down fast. The Wolf King sees this and immediately understands. That glowing kid is the problem. It bolts toward him like a black shadow, faster than anything I've seen. But the escort captain has been watching the Wolf King this whole time, waiting for exactly this moment. The Alpha had been surrounded by 7 or 8 bodyguard wolves before, making a direct attack suicide. But now that it's broken formation to go after the light kid, it's exposed. The captain intercepts. Wolf King versus escort captain, 1-on-1. The Wolf King is around level 35 to 36. The captain is level 39. On paper, the captain has the edge in level and gear. But magical beasts have naturally higher raw stats, so the Wolf King's power is terrifying. Their first clash nearly knocks the captain off his feet. They go at it, tooth and claw versus blade and armor. The fight is so intense that nobody dares get close. There's this invisible pressure zone around them that screams, enter and die. The Wolf King is actually enjoying itself. Apparently finding an evenly matched opponent is rare entertainment for it. It's biting and clawing with pure savage joy. Then, a blade erupts through the Wolf King's soft belly from behind. The captain's second-in-command snuck into a blind spot and ran a sword clean through its abdomen. The Wolf King lets out an agonized howl that shakes the air. Turns out humans fight dirty too, Your Majesty. Welcome to the club. The Wolf King spins around to face the guy who just stabbed it, absolutely furious. But the vice captain pulls his sword out, and this isn't a normal sword. One side is a blade and the other side is covered in serrated barbs. So on the way out, it shreds the Wolf King's insides like a cheese grater. The Wolf King collapses. The captain doesn't waste a second. One clean thrust through the neck, and it's over. The mighty Wolf King, done in by a 2-on-1 ambush. It wanted an honorable duel. It got human tactics instead. Welcome to fighting people, Your Highness. We don't do fair. The moment the Wolf King dies, the pack falls apart. No leader means no coordination, and uncoordinated wolves against organized guards is a very different fight. They go down fast, but the damage is already done. Out of 20 escort guards, only 5 survive. Every single one of them is injured. The vice captain lost an entire arm. And the teenagers? Out of over 100 kids, 30-something are left, including me. I look around the battlefield. It's bad, really bad. The captain stands there silent for a long time, collecting a personal item from each of his fallen comrades to bring back to their families. I can see the grief on his face, but he swallows it. There's no time to mourn. He also suspects this wasn't random. A wolf pack this large shouldn't exist on a regularly patrolled church road. Either the patrol teams failed, or someone deliberately targeted this convoy. Either way, he needs to report this when he gets back. Before we move out, the captain pulls me aside. Kid, come here. I walk over, curious. What you did last night, rallying those kids, killing that wolf, it made a real difference. Our losses would have been far worse without you. I want to give you a reward. What do you want? I shake my head. Not because I'm humble, I just don't know what to ask for yet. He gives me this tired, barely there smile. Fair enough. Hard to smile properly when half your friends just died. How about this? I'll teach you a combat technique. You can train with me every evening during rest stops. My brain immediately goes. His magic was purple. I saw it last night during the fight. Purple means lightning attribute. Lightning. My best element. Thunder affinity. 6, the highest on my entire panel. I nod so fast I nearly give myself whiplash. Good. We start tonight. My name is Leighton Wisha. You can call me Mr. Wisha. Yes, Mr. Wisha. I'm Clan Gassa. He nods like he already knew that. Nobles showing up at church convoys isn't exactly common. That evening after dinner, I show up for my first lesson. First, Mr. Wisha says, we work on breathing. This technique requires specific breath control to channel magic power. How long and steady you can breathe directly affects how well you use it. I immediately think of a certain anime from my past life. Breathing techniques. Of course, all I need now is a checkered earring and a dead family. Oh wait, I already have the dead family part covered. Start by holding your breath. This technique works best with long, sustained breathing, so lung capacity is critical. I hold my breath. 1 minute. 2 minutes. Mr. Wisha starts looking surprised. He expected the skinny kid to tap out early. But my constitution is 12 now. That's stronger than most adults in this world, even if my body hasn't fully caught up to show it yet. I make it to 3.5 minutes before stopping. Mr. Wisha's eyebrows are practically touching his hairline. Good. Let's move to the next step. I blink. Already? We just started. Most teachers would have me practice breathing for weeks before moving on. But apparently impressing your instructor with freakish lung capacity has its perks. Our little group of 4 is now 3, by the way. Arlen got exactly what he deserved. Tried to murder me during a wolf attack and got eaten for his trouble. Lena is alive thanks to me pulling her up during the stampede, and she's been noticeably warmer toward me since. Mosin somehow survived too, which honestly might be more impressive than anything I did, considering his talent is precision, and he was in the middle of a wolf melee. 3 out of 4. Could be worse. Could definitely be worse. Mr. Wisha explains the rush. We're only about 2 weeks from the Royal Academy, and after that he can't teach me anymore. So I need to learn the entire technique now and practice on my own later. He demonstrates a set of very strange-looking movements. This technique is called the thunder summoning art. At its highest level, you can temper your body with actual lightning and transform into a true thunder body. It's not the most advanced technique in the world, but it's way better than basic stuff. It'll carry you through your early time at the academy. You can always switch to something better later. Thunder. Lightning. The element I have the highest affinity for. Mr. Wisha, you beautiful man. You have no idea how perfectly this lines up. We train until midnight. He knows sleep is important for a kid my age, But time is short and desperate situations call for desperate measures. Before I leave, he tells me to practice on the cart during the day too. I stumble back to camp completely exhausted. Lena and Mosin immediately swarm me. What did the captain want? Special stuff. Don't worry about it. Lena looks a little disappointed. She was actually worried the captain was giving me trouble, not gifts. Sweet girl. I'm tired. Good night. They settle down on either side of me. Since we started this trip, I've been sleeping in a half-awake state every night. Survival instinct. Can't let your guard down in the wild. But tonight, the second I close my eyes, I'm out cold. Snoring and everything. Apparently Lena and Mosin are so surprised by this that they decide to stand guard over me while I sleep, making sure nobody steals my stuff. Which is nice, considering I own literally nothing worth stealing. Morning comes, and I wake up horrified that I slept so deeply. But nothing's missing. Hard to rob a guy who has nothing, so I relax. Then I notice my breakfast is different. While everyone else gets the usual sawdust bread, I'm looking at soft white bread, fresh meat, and fruit. The captain quietly upgraded my meals to match the escort team's rations. I have no idea how he's preserving fresh fruit on an open road trip, and I'm not going to ask questions. I just eat everything silently and file this kindness away in the debts to repay folder. Then I check last night's stat gain and nearly choke. Thunder Affinity 1. My Thunder attribute just went from 6 to 7. My already highest elemental talent just got even higher. This is the first time a non-main stat attribute has shown up since that one luck point weeks ago, and it lands on the exact element I just started learning. If that's not fate, I don't know what is. Over the next 10 days, Mr. Wisha teaches me everything he can, and I absorb it all like a sponge. He's visibly shocked at how fast I'm progressing. I can tell his opinion of me has upgraded from, "This kid might survive," to, "This kid is definitely going to be someone important." At one point I overhear him muttering about asking an old friend at the academy to keep an eye on me. The stat distribution these 10 days: 6 spirit, 2 agility, 1 constitution, 1 strength. Heavy spirit focus. At first I'm a bit disappointed, but then I notice the effects. My brain is sharper. I need barely any sleep to feel fully rested. My memory has become almost photographic. My thinking speed is faster. Spirit might honestly be the most underrated stat on the entire panel. Between the stat gains, better food, and actual training, my body has completely transformed. I look like a normal, healthy teenager now. No more skeleton boy. My complexion is good, I've grown again, and my updated stats tell the story. Strength, 15. Agility, 13. Constitution, 14. Spirit, 18. Thunder Affinity, 7. Charm, 70. Lifespan, 74 years. Level, 4. I went from expected to live 62 years to 74 just by getting healthier. And my charm jumped to 70, which I'm choosing to interpret as objectively handsome, even though I have no frame of reference. I've also apparently hit level 4, though I have no clue how that's calculated. Nobody else can see levels, so this is another secret perk of my status panel. The downside: I'm starting to stick out. All the other teenagers have filled out a little from the consistent food, but I look like I've been at a health resort while they've been on a death march. I'm taller, healthier, and visibly more energetic than everyone around me. Being the one guy who looks great after a month of suffering is not exactly subtle, but I'll deal with that problem when it comes. For now, I've got a thunder technique to master and an academy to survive. At this point, I'm basically a supermodel standing in a refugee camp. All the other kids are still yellow-skinned and bony, and here I am. Calm demeanor, fair skin, rosy complexion, looking like I wandered in from a completely different story. People stare at me constantly now. Whatever. Free attention. No charge. The journey goes faster than expected since our group is, well, significantly smaller than it started. And then one day, we reach the coastline. Endless ocean stretching to the horizon, and a single building sitting there waiting for us. Some kind of transfer station. Mr. Wisha pulls me aside. This is it. Time to say goodbye. Clan, take this. He hands me a wooden token. When you get to the Royal Academy, find a man named Quinn. He'll help you. This man. He already taught me an entire lightning technique, fed me officer-level meals, and now he's arranging contacts inside the academy for me? I don't know what I did to deserve this level of investment, but I'm filing it under debts I will absolutely repay someday. I understand, Mr. Wisha. Good. The transfer crew will get you to the academy in about 2 days. Go. As I'm walking toward the ship, I catch him slipping something to one of the transfer officers, a small bag, plus some whispered words. The officer nods and smiles. Then Mr. Wisha and I make eye contact one last time. He smiles. I nod. That's our goodbye. Clean. Simple. We board the ship and immediately get shoved into a cramped, sweltering cabin below deck. Dozens of teenagers packed into a space that smells like misery. I've been sitting there for maybe 5 minutes when a middle-aged man walks in. Klangasa? Come out. That was fast. Whatever Mr. Wisha told that officer, it's already working. I follow the man out of the hellhole cabin and into a different one. Bigger, fewer people, breathable air. Not luxury, but compared to where I just was, 5 stars. 2 days at sea. Uneventful. Calm waters. Through the tiny windows, I watch the endless ocean and feel this heavy realization settle in. There is no going back. If I ever want to leave the academy, I'd have to cross this entire sea with no idea which direction to go. I'm committed now. Completely. I use the time to practice my breathing technique. The other kids in my cabin are too nervous to talk. Everyone's locked in their own dread. Fine by me. Meanwhile, somewhere behind us, Mr. Wisha is already heading home, apparently thinking about how I'm not the most talented kid he's ever met, but definitely the most steady, hard-working, and intelligent one. He thinks my survival odds at the academy might actually be higher than the so-called geniuses. That's flattering. I hope he's right. 2 days pass. 2 more constitution points in the bank. We've arrived. Follow me out. Hearing those words feels exactly like a death row prisoner hearing. It's time. Everyone drags their feet toward the exit. One kid's legs literally give out, and he collapses, taking a good minute to shakily stand back up. The officer watches with zero expression. Clearly this happens every trip. We step off the ship, and I immediately spot Lena and Mosin in the crowd ahead. They see me too. Faces light up, but nobody dares make a scene. The mood is too heavy for happy reunions. We step onto the island, and solid ground has never felt so good. But my relief evaporates the moment I look up. The island is surrounded by a massive wall of white fog. Something is inside that fog. I can feel it, like a predator hiding just below the surface of still water. Line up. Hold the hand of the person in front of you. Do not let go. If you fall behind in this fog, you will die. Everyone scrambles into formation. The guy in front of me has the sweatiest palms in human history. Disgusting, but survivable. The officer leads us into the mist. My heart pounds the entire time, but mercifully, it's a short walk. We emerge on the other side, and a massive, magnificent cathedral towers before us. Grand. Imposing. Beautiful in the way things are beautiful when they might kill you. This is your new home. You have 1 day to rest and adjust. Tomorrow you will be tested. This test is extremely important. Take it seriously. Home. Right. I look at the towering cathedral, the mysterious fog behind us, the ocean beyond that, and the terrified faces all around me. Welcome to the Royal Academy, clan. No pressure. A few guys in white monk robes come to receive us. They give off this creepy, cold energy and look at us like they're inspecting livestock at an auction. The leader frowns immediately. Why are there so few this time? The transfer officer explains the wolf attack. The monk guy's frown deepens. He can tell something's off too, but he doesn't push it. Whatever. I'll take them. We get led to our rooms, and I'm genuinely shocked. 8-person rooms. With beds. Actual beds. After sleeping on dirt, cargo wagons, and ship floors for weeks, having a real bed feels like checking into a 5-star hotel. I almost don't know what to do with this much luxury. The monks remind us. Entrance exam tomorrow. Everyone immediately gets anxious. My 7 roommates are too stressed to even introduce themselves. They just sit on their beds radiating nervous energy. Me? I walk to the one empty bed, lie down, and close my eyes. With my current stats, tomorrow's test should be fine. No point losing sleep over it. But I don't sleep too deeply. These are strangers. Trust nobody. Good thing I didn't, because halfway through the night, I feel someone's hands near me. My eyes snap open. Some kid is standing right next to my bed, holding MY's sword. What are you doing? Everyone in the room jolts awake. The kid freezes like a deer in torchlight. Put my sword down. My voice comes out cold and hard. The kid drops the sword instantly, hands shaking. I get up, walk over to him, and before he can say a single word, slap. Open palm, right across the face. The sound echoes through the room like a gunshot. Everyone's sleepiness evaporates immediately. The kid's head snaps sideways, and he crashes to the floor. When he looks up, there's a perfect handprint on his cheek. Not just red, it's bleeding. The skin split from the impact. One casual slap with strength 15 did that. Interesting. So against normal teenagers, I'm basically a walking weapon now. Good to know for tomorrow. The kid stares up at me in pure terror. Whatever bravery he had 5 seconds ago is completely gone. I stand there for a moment, running some mental calculations, then crouch down and lightly pat his swollen cheek. Tell me, why did you touch my sword? My tone is the same as if I'm asking, what did you have for dinner? Apparently this is more terrifying than shouting, because I immediately smell something foul. I look down. His pants are wet. Lovely. I didn't. He's trying to deny it? While holding the evidence. While sitting in his own urine. Do you want to die? I say it calmly. Conversationally. Like I'm genuinely asking for his preference. I open the door and toss him out into the hallway. Sit out here and think about what you did. I don't know if this is the right thing to do, but I'm not in a place where right matters. I'm in a place where showing weakness gets you killed. Making an example of this idiot ensures the other 6 roommates think twice before trying anything. What I find out later is that this kid wasn't just trying to steal my sword. He was planning to stab me with it. His reasoning? I looked too strong, too handsome, too confident. He was ugly and pathetic and couldn't stand the thought of someone like me succeeding at tomorrow's exam. So he figured he'd just murder me in my sleep. That's it. No deeper motive. Just pure spite. This world really does breed monsters. Congratulations, host. Today you received Strength 1, perfect timing. Strength for the exam day. Next morning, someone comes to collect us. He spots the kid crouching outside our door with a bleeding handprint on his face and doesn't say a word. Just smirks slightly. Apparently, pre-exam violence is a yearly tradition that nobody bothers to address. We're nobodies. They don't care. Everyone follow me. Time for your exam. We file out, and when we reach the exam grounds, my jaw nearly drops. There are thousands of kids here. A rough count puts it at 4,000 or 5,000 at least. All here for the same entrance exam. Where did they all come from? We're brought before a young man in white bishop robes. He surveys the crowd and speaks. The entrance exam has 3 stages over 5 days. Stage 1 begins now. All of you will stand here. The last 1,000 still standing advance to stage 2. I look around at 5,000 kids. Stand. Just stand. Last 1,000 standing out of 5,000. All right then. Let's see who has the better constitution stat. Tomorrow, you'll be split into 5 groups of 200 for stage 2, an obstacle marathon. I'm sorry, did this medieval fantasy bishop just say obstacle marathon? That's suspiciously modern terminology for a world that hasn't invented proper wagon roofs yet. Top 20 from each group advance to stage 3. Let me do the math. 1,000 people. 5 groups of 200. 20 advance per group. That's 100 out of 1,000. 10% survival rate. This academy treats human lives like a bulk discount. By 5,000, keep 100. Throw the rest away. Stage 3 details will be announced later. You have 15 minutes. Then stage 1 begins. Wait, now? We literally just got here. Everyone scrambles to spread out and find a spot. 15 minutes of chaos later, exam begins. Nobody moves. Because nobody told us what to do. Oh right, forgot to mention, from this moment, nobody moves. Stand straight. Don't budge. Military stance. That's it. That's stage 1. Stand perfectly still until you drop. I almost laugh. I spent 16 years standing still and taking abuse. This is basically my childhood. I lock my body upright and prepare to wait. But then I feel it. A subtle pressure pushing down on my entire body. It's not fatigue. Someone, the examiners in the center, is applying some kind of gravity or force field on all of us.